Officer, can I get you to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the evidence you give before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You can put your hand down, state your name for the record.
Officer Shakima Austin,
And how are you employed?
through Clayton County Police Department.
And were you so employed on or about December the 22nd of 2025?
I was.
And did you have occasion to respond to a 9230 Bayou Lane?
0 Bayou Lane.
It's what?
9240 Bayou Lane.
And is that within the confines of the city of Jonesboro, Clayton County?
Yes, ma'am.
And during your investigation, did you come into contact with the Javier Romero?
I did not make contact with him physically.
Let me rephrase my question. I understand where you're going. Did your investigation involve a Javier Romero?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Could you please explain what happened?
On that date, I responded the first time. We got 2 calls to that location. The first time, the victim initially stated that her phone was taken and it was pinging at that area, and also stated that the Romero changed her passwords and bank card. Dispatch also advised that they heard a male's voice stating that this is my phone name. So I went out to
slow down a second. Dispatch advised what?
That a male voice stated this is my phone name. That was the
so dispatch heard a male on the phone while the victim was calling. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it stated that in the notes upon me responding to the call, to the address.
Were they able to identify who the male was on the call, or was that done?
No, not initially, not the first. No, it was not at all. So that was just the first call. That was the knowledge that I had upon going to the incident location.
Okay. Please continue.
By the time I got there, we didn't have a victim. I couldn't make contact with the victim. So we did a property check, tried to make contact at the residence, which was unsuccessful. So then we ended up leaving.
What's at this location?
This was the address that was given that Romero was at. This is where the incident actually took place at.
I understand that. What is there? Is it a house? Is it an apartment? Is it a business?
It's a house. It's the house that Romero was residing in at the time.
Did the victim reside there also?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So you get there, nobody's there. What happens next?
So then we leave. And then a little while later, we get another call back out at the residence where the victim stated that she had to go to the bank and change her passwords. So this time she was there, and she advised that her and Romero had a verbal altercation due to him not seeing her for a few days. So upon her getting to the residence, he took her phone, changed her passwords, and apparently he sent himself $375 via Zelle. She was notified of the password change at approximately 8:49 that morning. She provided text messages in which he stated that he placed her phone outside of the residence. She also provided text messages of her asking for her money back, at which he responded that he would return it. He also stated that if she provided law enforcement with all of his information, then he wouldn't have the money. He also stated that he would send the money back. I also attached photos of their communication with one another, where he stated that it's too late now. I'll see the money. She stated you would give me the money, and he stated it's too late now. I don't have it. Then he also confirmed that he would send the money back to her. So due to
also, let me stop you right here because you just divulged a whole lot of information real quick. No, that's fine. What you've been referring to is a text thread between the victim and the defendant, correct?
Correct.
She let you see the text thread.
Correct. But while we were on scene, they was like talking on the phone as well, and she continued asking for her money back, and he kept asking if she had provided law enforcement with his information already. Okay. If she did, then he would not have the money to give back to her.
I got that. Now you said that she was on the phone. When you say she was on the phone with him, were they talking to each other verbally, or was this an ongoing text back and forth?
It was both.
Did she put the phone on speaker so that you could hear what was being said on the other side?
Yes, she did.
Did she advise him that you were standing there listening?
He could see us. She also sent him a picture of law enforcement outside.
So was it like a video call, or she just took a picture and sent it to him?
So I did confirm the picture that was sent to him. I don't recall. I'm not sure if she did like a video call with him or not, if it was on the phone, but I do recall him being on the phone.
Okay, and you heard it?
Yes.
Were you able to record that call in any way? Was your body cam on?
Yes, ma'am.
Did it capture the conversation?
Yes.
During the course of the conversation, did he ever admit who he was?
I don't recall.
How did you know who was on the other end of the line?
Oh, I did have her state his name via body camera. Like,
and what was the? I'm sorry.
As she was like talking to him on the phone, I did have her address him by name.
And what was the response? Do you recall?
No.
But did he respond as if it was his name?
Yes.
Okay. Did she ever get her money back?
I'm not sure.
At that time, did she get her money back?
I'm not sure. I don't recall.
Did he ever return to the scene?
No, not while officers were there.
Was she able to get her passwords changed back?
Yes.
How did she do that?
Well, she advised that she had left from the initial call. She had left to go get everything changed. So that's why we wasn't able to make contact with her the first time.
So when you all responded that first time, she was in the process of trying to get everything changed back?
Yes.
Did you ever physically see Mr. Romero?
No. Upon the first time of us going to the residence, we did check the exterior part of the residence where we did not locate a phone. And then upon us going the second time, he had put in via text message that he had placed her phone outside of the residence.
Okay. But she found it, but you all didn't find it. She found it.
Yes.
Okay. Now, let me ask you something. You also have in charge of financial transaction card fraud. What is the basis of this?
He sent himself $375 via Zelle, transfer without her permission.
Was she able to show that to you?
Yes.
Were you able to capture or commemorate that in any way?
Yes, I believe it's attached to the report.
You took a picture of it?
I believe it's attached to the report. Yes, I believe so.
It's a picture or video?
It should be a picture.
Okay. And how were you able to determine that the person who actually did the Zelle was this defendant?
I believe he sent the Zelle to himself.
And when you say sent to himself, did it have his name on it, a picture of him? How?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's attached to the report. But I was able to confirm it by him stating that he would send the money back to her.
And did he, when he said that, is that when you were standing there listening to the call?
No, that was via text message, which she continued calling back the same number. And then he continued calling her via telephone, asking if she had gave the police all of his information.
Do you recall how much money he took from her account?
$375.
And he did that using her phone?
Correct. He had taken her possession of her phone.
Did she indicate whether she ever gave him permission to transfer that money to his account?
She stated that she did not, in which why she provided multiple text messages of her texting him, even as officers was on scene telling her to send her money back.
Now, you just previously testified that he was not on scene and apparently he did not return, correct?
Correct. But it was on scene. She believed that he was inside of the residence because of the time frame that when we first left versus when we went back, that he had threw the phone outside.
So she thought he was still in the residence while you all were there?
Correct.
Did he ever come outside?
No. Did
you all ever go in?
No, ma'am.
How were you all able to detain him?
I just did warrants.
I'm saying, but for you to do warrants, how were you able to get his information?
From the victim.
Was she able to provide some type of identification? How did you know who he was?
Name and date of birth.
Was she able to confirm that the information you pulled up was in fact the person involved in this incident?
I don't recall on the scene that day. But she did provide a photo of him.
Okay.
For us to be able to identify him. They previously they lived together and she was currently pregnant with his child.
I didn't hear the last part. It got kind of low.
She was currently pregnant with his child, so she was able to identify him correctly.
And based on the information she provided, you all were able to prepare a warrant?
Correct.
And the two of them, were you able to establish if they lived together or what was their arrangement?
I believe they lived together previously. I'm not sure if they lived together at that moment or at that residence. I don't recall.
But she indicated he was the father of a child. Is that what you just said? She's
correct.
Pregnant?
Yeah, she was currently pregnant at that time.
Judge, I'm gonna object to relevance. This is irrelevant to criminal trespass and financial transaction card fraud. Whether they live together is not relevant.
Response, Ms. Thomas.
I'll move on. In fact, I think that might be, let me double check. I think that might be my last question. I'm sure.
Is that your last question?
It may be, Your Honor. I'm trying to make sure I've covered all the warrants and it's kind of. It is.
All right, cross-examination.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, officer.
Morning.
So let's go back. She told you that it was Javier Romero who did all that. Is that correct?
Correct.
And what is her name?
2 seconds. Quincia Chisholm.
Okay. And so she told you Javier Romero did all of these acts.
Correct.
Okay. Now, she told you that the voice on the other end of the phone was that of Javier Romero. Is that correct?
Correct, but I'm not sure if it was via FaceTime or telephone. I don't recall.
Okay. Did you see the person? So you're not prepared to testify that you saw the person that she was communicating with. Is that correct? Okay. You're not prepared to say that the person that she was communicating with is the gentleman in the orange jumpsuit on the screen. Is that correct?
Well, she did address him by name. Correct.
I understand. Independent of her saying that that was Javier Romero. Okay.
Correct.
Do you have proof that that was, in fact, the gentleman in the orange jumpsuit on the screen?
Just testimonial.
Okay. And the phone number that she was communicating with the person on, okay, were they communicating via a phone call?
Via phone call and via text.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if it was phone call or FaceTime. Okay. And then I do recall text messages, which is attached to the report.
Okay. And have you confirmed that the phone number that the phone number that she was communicating with is the phone number of Javier Romero?
I don't recall from that moment to now.
Okay. I mean, have you contacted a phone carrier and inquired as to whose phone number the phone number belongs to?
Well, I wouldn't have contacted the carrier, but we do have different ways to figure out whether that's that person's phone number or not. But
Okay,
do
and
I recall whether that was done during that investigation? No,
okay, you don't, did you do it?
I don't recall.
Okay, was there anybody else working on this case other than you?
There was other officers out there, but I was primary on it.
Okay, so you don't recall if you've researched the phone number associated with this case?
No.
Okay, and you're not prepared to testify that you've made any contact with any phone carrier related to this case, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. You never personally spoke with Javier Romero, is that correct?
I believe I tried to make contact, which was unsuccessful.
And did you try to make contact with the same number that she gave you?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. The bank account information. So you've testified that there was money taken from a Zelle account. Is that correct? Okay. And you've testified it was transferred into a bank account. Is that correct?
I'm not sure if how Zelle works for bank account to bank account. Not sure. I just do recall like the money being missing, and the victim provided text messages of the offender stating, "I'll send you the money back. Did you give the police my information?"
Okay. What proof do you have that the money was transferred via Zelle?
It should be photos attached to my report.
Of her Zelle account?
I think so. I don't want to say yes for sure, but I believe so.
Okay. And did you research where the money was transferred to?
I don't recall, honestly.
Okay. Do you recall contacting any financial institution related to this case to determine if money was transferred into another bank account?
No, I did not.
Okay. Did you contact Zelle and research Ms. Chisholm's is her bank account or her Zelle account?
No, I did not.
Okay. The phone that she said was taken, you'd agree with me, was ultimately found at the home. Is that correct?
Correct, outside of the residence.
Okay.
And there was also a text message of him stating that he placed the phone outside of the residence.
Okay. Was there any proof during this time that you were at the residence that he was inside of the residence?
No, not of my knowledge, other than the fact that upon us going the first time to the incident location versus the second time. So the first time went to the incident location, we did not locate a phone outside of the residence. And then upon us returning to the incident location, she had her phone back. Then she also provided text message of the male stating that he placed the phone outside the residence.
Okay. Did you make attempts to try to make contact with anyone inside of the home?
I did multiple times.
Okay. Okay. And you heard no sounds consistent with someone being inside of the home. Is that correct?
I'm not sure. I don't recall. I just know we did not get contact at the residence.
Okay. And you indicated no movement inside of the home consistent with someone being inside of the home. Is that correct?
I mean, I don't recall. Honestly, if they didn't answer the door, it's not like we could just force entry without enough proper cause or exigent circumstances.
Okay. Was there a car in the driveway that would have been registered to Mr. Javier Romero?
I don't recall.
Okay. Just 1 second, please, Your Honor.
Okay, well, while you're doing that, how do I know that the person that's in court today is Javier Romero that she's referring to? Officer.
Well, when the name and date of birth was provided, there's a photo that pops up, which is the male, the light-skinned male in the orange jumpsuit, which came back as a GCIC NCIC response.
So you
And I
did
recall at that date that I know it was other officers that was at that location previous due to a warrant for that same male subject.
So did she show you a picture? She showed you a picture. I think you said that earlier. So she
Yeah,
showed,
that she confirmed that it was him.
okay. And then you did your own independent. You saw where'd you see his photo at?
On GCIC, NCIC.
Okay, so you compared the picture from that to what she showed you?
Correct, to confirm the identity of the male.
Okay.
Independent of her telling you that Javier Romero was the male, do you have any proof that Javier Romero was in fact the male?
Other than her providing the photo and stating that that is her baby, that is her child's father, and this is the instant that's done, and then the testimonial of what she provided, the proof that she provided. Other than that, no.
That's what I'm saying. You didn't, because you did not do any sort of research into any phone carriers, correct?
Correct.
You did no research in any banks or financial transaction accounts. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. You never spoke with the gentleman that's in the orange jumpsuit in court today. Is that
No, he did
correct?
not answer the phone.
Okay.
Upon trying to make
So
contact with him.
she told you Javier Romero did this, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then she gave you the name and date of birth of Javier Romero, correct?
Along with the photo of him with
Right.
kids. Correct.
And based off
To
that,
confirm
you
his
swore,
identity.
and based off that, you swore warrants out for him, correct?
Correct.
All right. If she had said it was, it was Richard Brown, former magistrate judge Richard Brown, and she provided you the name and date of birth of former Judge Brown and a picture of Judge Brown, you would have sworn the warrant out for Richard Brown, correct?
Well, not if I advised her to address him by name as he continued responding by name. So that was also confirmation that he is the same individual that she's addressing, because if you're calling me somebody else's name, I'm going to be like, that's not my name.
Okay.
And I'm not going to continue conversations with you along with saying, oh, I'm going to send you your money back. I'm going to send you your money back. And then asking if you gave law enforcement my information. It wouldn't be a word to me if I continue addressing you by name and you saying, oh, did you give law enforcement my name?
Okay. Do you agree with me that he did not that there was not a card, okay, a credit or debit card used in this case? Is that correct?
I'm not sure. I just know the financial card transaction came from the Zelle transfer, which she stated that she did not consent of.
Okay. But let me ask you, you'd agree with me that there was no financial transaction card used in this case. Is that correct?
So card transaction, from my understanding, would be any funds transferred without the use of the card holder.
Okay. What
So in
card,
order to have a bank card, that would be you transferring funds.
what card was used?
A Zelle card. I mean, what it would have been through bank
Yeah.
transfer.
So it's
From-
your understanding, are you familiar with what Zelle is?
I just know it's money transfer.
Okay. And
it's
you'd
bank to
agree
bank,
with me
correct.
that you'd agree with me that it's a platform used to transfer funds. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, you'd agree with me that it's not a card, a financial card such as Visa, American Express, Discover. You'd agree with that, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Are you familiar with Cash App?
Correct.
Are you familiar with Venmo?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Apple Pay?
So yes.
Okay, and so you'd agree with me that Zelle operates in the same fashion that Cash App and Venmo and Apple Pay operate. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. I have no further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, any redirect?
I'm sorry, Judge. I'm trying to multitask. Did you ask me something?
Any redirect?
Oh, no, ma'am.
Okay. All right, any other witnesses or evidence for the state?
Not at this time.
All right, Attorney Florio, any evidence or witnesses?
No, Your Honor, just argument.
All right, ADA Thomas?
I'll reserve.
All right, Mr. Florio?
Judge, so we're charged in the first warrant with criminal trespass, but I don't think that there was any intent obviously to deprive her of her property because she had the property. We know that because she was physically holding the property. She was able to contact law enforcement with the phone. And so I don't think that there's any proof that he took the phone or that he deprived her of her ability to use the phone. She called 911. And so what's interesting is she called 911, the police came out, okay? And then she said, oh, I went to the bank. And then she says, oh, well, I've got the phone. But the problem is how did she call 911 if she didn't have the phone originally? Like, she always had the phone. She had the phone because she was able to make that 911 call before she ever went to the bank. Law enforcement comes out, and then she says that money's taken from a Zelle account. That's not financial transaction card fraud. Money being taken out of a Zelle or using Zelle is not financial transaction card fraud. Fraud, as the officer testified, Zelle is a platform, is a tool used for the transfer of money. If the allegation was that he had used an American Express card, a Visa card, a Discover card, he'd actually used the card and had taken money, then that would be a financial transaction card fraud or theft. But there's not been any testimony. The allegation is that there was a money transfer platform that was evidently used. Now, to that extent, the officer did no additional investigation, did no additional research. She hasn't looked at any cell phone records indicating that the phone number was that of Javier Romero. She's not looked at any bank account information evidencing that there was actually money taken or that it was taken and put into the account of Javier Romero. It's just simply that the statement was told to her and she took it as being the truth. She took it as being the gospel. No additional investigation, no additional research. So based off that, Judge, we would ask that both of these warrants be dismissed. Thank you.
All right, 88 Thomas.
Judge, I actually think the officer was able to present sufficient evidence to show this case should be transferred to the Superior Court. And there was a question I believe the court asked her, and she responded, and then she actually answered it with me, and it came up again, which is how did we know who was involved in this matter? And she asked the victim to do something I've seen other officers do it, and it's worked every time, is to refer to the defendant by his name, which is what she did. She advised the victim, talk to him, use his name, which the victim did during the course of that conversation. I believe the officer indicated it was done multiple times. And the defendant responded every time to his name. So that's how we know this is the person. In addition to the fact that he is the father of her child, she was able to provide the officer with identifying information from which the warrants were taken. Now, during that conversation that the officer overheard and the text threads, the defendant admitted taking this victim's money from her, transferring that money from her account into his account, and subsequently not returning it. Now, how she got the phone back, I'm not sure, Your Honor, but that doesn't preclude her from calling 911, either using that phone or someone else's device to say, hey, he took my phone, he took money from my account. Now, Your Honor, I'm not sure if technology is if the statutes have caught up with technology at this point in time. And I am aware that he is charged with financial transaction card fraud. And make sure I say this right. One second, Judge. It's not cooperating with me. And I believe the officer charged it that way because it did involve a financial transaction between her account and the defendant. So, Your Honor, at this point in time, I actually think she may have charged it correctly. I'm not sure we actually have a statute that will cover a bank transfer, other than the only thing I can think of off the top of my head would be possibly wire fraud. But absent that, Your Honor, what we do know is that he did transfer that money from her account. She was able to show the information to the victim, was able to provide that information to the officer that she could see that the transfer did occur, and that the defendant, via the text messages and the conversation, indicated initially that he would return the money, then qualified it by, well, if you don't tell the officers, and subsequently returned, as far as the officer knows, the victim still hasn't received her money back. So at this point in time, state would ask that the case be transferred in its entirety to the Superior Court.
All right, after hearing evidence and testimony, the financial transaction card fraud is legally insufficient. The charge could have easily been theft by taking to cover what occurred or alleged to have occurred. So that charge is dismissed. The criminal trespass for unlawful purpose, there's enough probable cause for that. So that'll be bound over to state court. So he'll only be left with that charge. This matter is adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my business. May I please be excused?
Yes, sir.
I'll come see you at the jail, Mr. Romero. Thank you, Your Honor.